Hi, I'm Bob Chmiel, Director of Football Operations for NCSA, National Collegiate Scouting Association. I am joined here today with Mr. Frank Lenti, Coach Frank Lenti of Mount Carmel High School. Frank's been the head coach at Mount Carmel for 26 years.
24 as the head coach, been back at Mount Carmel for 26.
26 years and 13 appearances in the state championship. I've watched you through the years go through the recruiting process so many times. And one of the things we talk to our student athletes about is the fact that, they're going to go through it once. Don't leave any stones unturned. How, in your opinion, through those 26 years, how has the recruiting process changed?
Well, I think it's changed tremendously over the years, Bob, in regard to the fact that there's so many opportunities out there for youngsters and their parents, but I think they need guidance. And I think a program like yours, quite honestly, provides that.
All the way in the middle. It ain't over. Ty, say it's over. If it ain't failed, it's
Well, Frank, you've sent young guys to the likes of Notre Dame. Actually, your son was recruited, graduated from the University of Illinois. We name all these big schools. They all stop by Mount Carmel. But at the same time, you've had players go to Yale, the University of Chicago, Division II, Division III, and have had marvelous experiences.
Well, the important thing that families need to realize, Bob, is if you're going to go to Notre Dame or Michigan or Illinois or a school like that, you don't need much help. You don't need much guidance if you're a big-time player. It's the kids that are in the programs below those that need the help. And as you said, at Mount Carmel, we've averaged about 17 players a year going on and playing Division I through III, and most of those kids are in the Division III and Division II and 1AA. And those are the ones that need the help and the guidance from the coaches and the programs like yourself, where people can get their names out there and get help for the kids so they get a great opportunity to get a great education and play in quality programs.
One of the things, Frank, that as I go across the country speaking for NCSA, is a term I use is your high school coach cannot get you a scholarship. Don't blame your high school coach if things don't go your way.
The colleges and universities give the scholarships, not the high school coaches. And it's based on what their son can do academically and athletically. And that's where I think it's great for programs like yours, because you can help guide families through the process. You can help make it easier for coaches as well to team up with the families and the coaches and make it a great experience for the players to find the right fit for a youngster academically and athletically.
Frank, two questions. If you would give one bit of advice to parents, you went through the recruiting process, not only with your son, who ended up being a wide receiver at Illinois, but also with your daughter, who was a softball player at DePaul University in Chicago. As a parent, if you could give parents one bit of advice, what would it be?
Quite honestly, if I were going to give parents advice, the first thing I'd tell them is understand that whatever level of athletic play you think your child is capable of playing, realistically, it's probably going to be one or two levels below that, unless some college or university coaches tell you your youngster is a Division I player. They're not going to be. And make sure, most importantly, that when you pick a school, you pick a school based on what that school can do for your son or daughter academically, because a child is always one injury away from never playing again, and they still have to have a great education.
And if I may, one bit of advice, as I know many, many young high school coaches come to seek your counsel and talk to you about the great things you've done at Mount Carmel. If one of those high school coaches, a young high school coach, asked you, Coach Lenti, what is my role? How do I promote my guys? What can I do? What is the role of the high school coach currently in the process?
Well, again, I think you mentioned it earlier, Bob. I think it's important that you provide an opportunity for your youngsters to put together a good tape or a good DVD, give them counsel in regard to making sure they have the proper academics along with their school guidance counselors, and help guide them through the process. But understand that as a head coach or even as an assistant coach, you have many seniors to deal with. So as a head coach, you cannot take care of everyone. Each person in each family needs to be responsible for their own youngster. One of the dads who actually played for me some years ago, and then his sons played for me, he had a great point. He said, Mount Carmel didn't hire Frank Lenti to get my son into college. Mount Carmel hired Frank Lenti to get kids into Mount Carmel, not to get kids out of Mount Carmel. I'm the parent. It's my job and my responsibility to help make sure my child goes on to a good college or university.
You know, Frank, I want to thank you, and not to sound patronizing or anything, but to our fans, to the NCSA family, I can assure you that Frank Lenti is, for lack of a better term, a legendary high school football coach, and I can also assure you that Mount Carmel High School in the Chicago Catholic League probably has few equals when it comes to tradition, education, and a combination of both. Frank, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for your loyalty and your friendship, and hopefully you continue with great success.
Thanks, Frank.